sports radio getting after me because I mispronounced the quarterback's name.
KERX Paris Sports Med. Coming to you live from the
Here's Jones on a keeper. Out over the 40 to midfield. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Got him looking. Hagen Smith has tied the school record with 17 strikeouts, but he's done it in 6 dominating innings. Peyton Holt in center field makes the catch. Runners don't try to score. Zonet's coming home. He throws to third. Sprague Lodge fires to the plate. They got him.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Be able to keep the weather going nicely for the next 5 days. Snow's been melting for a few, and talking about ice cold, my goodness. Arkansas basketball right now is that. That'll obviously be an overarching theme over the next 3 hours. We'll be talking with Mike Irwin at the bottom of this hour, and lots of times for your calls and your text as we go throughout the show. It's also, Matt, this is day 5 of playoff football. We had our college football playoff games, the semifinals complete on Thursday and Friday. We've got our championship matchup with Texas and Ohio State and Notre Dame a week from today. And we'll get the final game of the Super Wild Card weekend in Arizona with the Rams and the Vikings. It's been a lot of football to watch, a lot of basketball to watch too. And if you're a Razorback fan, it was not very good basketball to watch either.
Yeah, happy Monday.
To watch, a lot of
very chalky. It seems like if you're looking at this football in December and January, it's been very, very chalky. But basketball team, like you said, we'll get into it. I don't know what you do if you can't make. I mean, it's a prereq. You got to be able to make open jumpers. If you can't make open jump shots, you got to change your major. Make sure these kids are going to class because they're not going to be playing professional basketball in America. I mean, get you a foreign agent. Maybe you can go play in the Netherlands or something, because their days of playing in the States is about done.
Well, at least get to practice so that you can practice some. One of the simple things is layups, just like you're saying. To me, watching that game, it wasn't necessarily about just being stationary or not running an offense. I just thought you missed a lot of. I can't say gimmies in a lot of cases because there's still defense around the rim. It's just you expect to see a lot more baskets when you get to the rim the way that Arkansas did. Now, didn't shoot very well from the outside, defended well enough. It wasn't the prettiest game, that's for sure. But jumped out of the gates and just, couldn't hold the lead and then couldn't claw back. And right now it just seems, Matt, in a lot of ways, it's an offensively challenged basketball team at the moment. And I'm with you. I don't know where you go because it can only go
when you're
up from here, you would think, but it's only 3 of 18 league games and the league's really tough.
Yeah, when you're impotent on offense, you better play defense. That's my whole point. After watching this team, they're very pedestrian, impotent, whatever word you want to use that's fugazi. Their offense is lacking. But you know what they did do? They held Florida to 28 points in the first half. That's pretty good. So you're going to have to be a defensive grinded out team and keep it into the 50s. I mean, I don't know. If you're not going to make shots, then slow it down and play defense. I mean, you don't want to get into some type of running game if you're not going to make shots.
Yeah, and hopefully you don't have to just, win rock fights night after night. Because I thought it'd be a team that could score. Not necessarily like the greatest outside shooting team, but a team that gets to the rim, gets to the foul line, makes their free throws, and get into the rim and making the layup. See, that's the aspect sometimes. We'll say, well, this team can get to the rim. The thought is if you do that or you get anywhere within 2 feet of the rim, then 80% of the time, 75% of the time, you got to make your shots, or you should make your shots. Getting to the rim is the difficult part sometimes. I understand. I mean, these are physical players. And those final 2 feet can be a little bit difficult to get to, but I'll look it up. I didn't want to look it up, but I'll look it up. Cal apparently didn't know what the layup numbers were, but they were shocking when he heard it. And gosh, you got to find a way to get into the 70s. I mean, really, how do you play 3 SEC games right now and still not make it into the 70s? You're not going to win basketball games if you can't score 70 points, because they're giving up in the 70s every time. Well, the 2 road games coming up this week, Matt. You got to find a way to pick off one of them, and hey, start in the first one with LSU, because that's a team that's not playing well either.
Well, that's kind of my point. That was going to be my point. We're taking a step down in class. If you're going to divide the SEC into tiers, we're going to some third tier type games. We're going these 2 teams we're about to play aren't making the NCAA tournament. We just played 3 teams that are. Now you're going to go play 2 teams that can't, that are not going to make the NCAA. Got to win these games. If you don't win these games, even if you split, we're not making the NCAA tournament. I mean, LSU and Missouri. We're supposed to win both of these games. I don't care where you play them. I don't care where you play those 2 teams. We should win. And if you can't win those games, then what are we even talking about?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. 15 games left. If we keep thinking that you can't just rest on the idea that 7 wins is enough to get you into the tournament. I mean, there are 15 games remaining. And I think the number that you have to get to is 8. I think 7 potentially. And there's no guarantee that you can get there, especially when you've looked as poor as they've looked in the first 3 games. Admittedly, there's a couple of really, really good teams locked in there. And in fact, I'd say all 3 of these teams are playing very good basketball right now in Tennessee, Ole Miss, and Florida. Man, that makes this game tomorrow against LSU, team that's lost 3 SEC games at least by 8 points each time, is really, really important. Pick up that first win on Tuesday and take it from there. And now we've got our college football championship game also ready to go, Matt. Not a day from today, a week from today, in Atlanta. We got through everything we needed to, I think, on the Orange Bowl on Friday. The Cotton Bowl kind of went the way that I thought it would. That Texas would hang around because I don't know if it's a matter that they play to the level of their opponent in some cases, or just they're the kind of team defensively that can slow you down, grind you down. That's what I saw, from them against Ohio State. But the better team, I think, also won. And right now, Ohio State looks certainly like the better team between them and Notre Dame, the healthier team too. I think when it comes down to it, that's going to be a big aspect. And Bet Saracen's got Ohio State installed as a 9-point favorite, which is awfully high for a national championship game. I don't know which way it'd go there, but obviously right now, I think everybody agrees Ohio State should be the favorite and probably will win this game too.
Yeah, we're just looking for reasons. Like we said last week, you're just looking. It's kind of feels like UConn in basketball the last 2 years. What did Coach say? He said, we're not very good at winning close games, so we'll just blow everybody out by double digits. That's kind of what Ohio State's doing right now. I don't see anybody that's going to beat Ohio State this year.
Lots of time for calls and texts. I was to go throughout the show. It's 877-377-6963. There's breaking news here coming out of the NFL. Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys unable, according to Tom Pelissero, sides could not agree on a length of contract, and McCarthy will pursue other opportunities.
Yes.
Mike McCarthy out as the head coach of the Cowboys.
Let's go.
Feels like C Cowboy is reflecting the feelings of most of our listeners that are Cowboys fans.
Will Jerry Jones pick a guy that will actually win a championship, or at least give yourself a chance, not a yes man like McCarthy?
Well, the Bears were hot after McCarthy, along with a few other options. They at least wanted to talk to him. I'm sure they'll take that idea now too. And there's some other teams whose seasons ended recently over the weekend. See if any of them make a change as well. I know Steelers fans are. There's a good number of them that are up in arms about 8 years in a row without a playoff win and thinking that now's the time to separate from Mike Tomlin. So maybe two coaches that went against each other in the Super Bowl map, but we do know Dallas apparently now will be looking for a new head coach.
Maybe I'd call Mike Tomlin. That might be somebody if Pittsburgh's ready for. Because here's the deal. I'll tell you this, Phil, and you know this. Mike McCarthy and Mike Tomlin. Both of those cats get jobs the next day. That's not a Bill Belichick thing. That's not something. There's a lot of teams out there that will want those two guys as your head coach. So both of those. Sometimes it just runs its course, kind of like Calipari in Kentucky, kind of like Houston at Arkansas. You just kind of got to move on. It's tough to stay somewhere for a decade plus in this world. So, but both those guys are really good coaches. I don't think Pittsburgh. I heard this stat today, Phil, since they hired Chuck Noll in '69, you know how many head ball coaches Pittsburgh's fired?
Well, I don't think they fired any of them.
Zero.
Those guys left and retired.
That's right. So since 1969, they're not going to fire Mike Tomlin. How do you fire somebody who doesn't have a losing record? That doesn't make sense.
Trading somebody wouldn't be firing him either.
I would, if I'm Dallas, that's the first place I call is Mike Tomlin.
How many draft choices? So you got a franchise, obviously under different ownership, or was it different ownership when they made the 7-for-1 deal with Minnesota? Either way. They've got the experience of making a trade like that for somebody that I guess at that point was thought that Herschel would be a Hall of Famer. It didn't turn out that way in the NFL. Interesting way to start the week with a. Now this isn't a firing necessarily. Is this? This is parting ways. We could not figure out a new deal.
Contract ran out. Yep.
Yes, its contract ran out. That's not a firing either. If we're going to get into the nitty gritty of the details here. All right, Cowboys fans, let us know what you think about this.
Coach Belichick.
377
you a Tar Heel?
6963. Belichick is knee deep in high school recruits right now and getting transfer portal recruits. He looks like a guy who wants to be a college head coach, but you're right about that, man. If he got the right place. I thought I saw something about that he could leave with a lower buyout of about $1 million in the summer, but if he were to leave right now, I think it would be a much larger buyout, which maybe he's got saved away. All right, let's take a break. Calls and texts. If you want to get into the Cowboys, now's the time with Mike Irwin at the bottom of the hour. It's halftime, and we'll be right back.
Talk about Miley Cyrus. Certainly, our football program is facing obstacles, and we got to do something to climb a little higher on the mountain.
This is halftime.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive 3
velvety melted cheese, a crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink, all for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks exclude free tax extra.
At Phil Wright Autoplex in Russellville,
we know you have many places to buy a car. Our competitive pricing and no-pressure sales team
has made us your premier GMC and Chevrolet dealer in the River Valley for almost 50 years.
Our impressive inventory is changing daily. Shop online 24/7 at philwright.com.
for a simplified buying process, trust Phil Wright Autoplex. Great inventory, great prices, and an overall great buying experience. Exit 84 off I-40, Russellville.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Looking to boost your health and feel your best? Elite Wellness and Aesthetics in Fort Smith is here to help. Starting at only $200 a month, semaglutide and tirzepatide are weight loss shots that can kickstart your journey to a healthier, more confident you. And with Elite's hormone therapy treatments, you can restore balance, energy, and vitality. Take control of your health today with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. 479-242-9355 to schedule your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
Courtside with Fort Smith Public Schools.
You know, one of the things that the way I like to coach, I solicit a lot of feedback from the girls. And there's that language that you develop with your players that those seniors already know. And so when I'm asking them to do something, they can translate it for me, you know, or when I'm needing feedback from them, they kind of know what I'm wanting to hear.
Coaches take you inside on what's going on in Fort Smith sports. New episode every week on the Hit That Line podcast network and on hitthatline.com. The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Was drifting, this rocket got to roll. So I hit the road and made my getaway. Restless feeling, home. I started searching for a better way. Outside in the middle of the night, couldn't see the light.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Oh, let's see, Matt. In the loss to Florida, Arkansas basketball, 2 for 16 on layups and shooting in the paint, 11 for 34. That is rough. I would also think you can't really have numbers, at least in those two situations, that are worse than this for the rest of the season. But every time I think that, not every time, but sometimes I think that I am shown to be incorrect. Hopefully it's not a trend to continue, but from the outside, from the inside, it was just not pretty on Saturday, and maybe it's a matter of practicing layups or practicing layups against defense, not just getting in layup lines.
Yeah, I don't know. You Coach Cal's a recruiter, teacher of the game. You're looking at this team right here. I was impressed with 9. I thought it was his best conference game. I still like 3. I still like 21. Boogie Flan's good. He's just a baby. you're looking, Big Z's not playing. You're kind of looking at the pieces, and as bad as we're playing, the truth is, it was a close game, to the end. If you just hit a couple shots here and there, just wide open shots, you could be in it, make your free throws. I mean, there's still something, I guess, to grasp at, but it's the other teams are good too. The thing that worries me is when we play a team like Ole Miss. We're better at every position if you go down the list of Ole Miss, and they beat us. So now we're athletic, and you don't know how to play basketball. It's you gotta understand the concepts of being a team player, especially on the defensive side, which I thought they did against Florida. That first half defense, especially the first 10, 15, this is the best they'd played defense in conference play. But then Florida kind of figured them out, and we controlled zero. That's the other thing. In those 3 games, they controlled. Tennessee controlled the tempo. They controlled the environment. Ole Miss did the same thing, except for about 10, 12 minutes. Florida did the same thing. We're kind of playing on the defensive.
Yeah, I think about the two opponents you're facing this week, LSU and Mizzou. You could probably say you're a more talented, more athletic team overall
100%.
too. More highly recruited bunch. Doesn't mean you're going to win. By the way, Mizzou's unbeaten at home, 13-0 at home, including a victory over Kansas. Just a note here on Mike McCarthy, a head coach that has now in 18 years won 61% of his regular season games, leaves Dallas with a .583 winning percentage. But of course, it was the playoffs that mattered, 1-3, and this year the lack of playoffs that seemed to matter more than anything else. Cecil, thanks for calling. Always good to hear from you. You can get on with us before we have Mike Irwin in about 10 minutes. 877-377-6963. Cecil, what's up?
I got 10 minutes.
Well, yeah. You got a piece of 10 minutes. You got a fraction of it.
Yeah. Man, well, I wouldn't be surprised if I got a few things to say, but let me say this since you mentioned about McCarthy getting fired. I wouldn't be surprised if he offered Deion that job, and I wouldn't be surprised Deion take it.
Do you think they could I don't know what they do, but squeeze the NFL on if Deion takes that job, kind of like what the Lakers did with LeBron's son?
Yes,
they say if you take Sanders, he's not going to sign with you, so don't waste a pick and take him, and then they're able to take him.
Right. Hey, that's what I said that in the get-go. I said Deion gonna end up in Dallas. I didn't know they was going. Well, actually, McCarthy was walking on eggshells, so we already knew that. But I wouldn't be surprised, man, that he offered dude that job, and he lived there. That's where he lived in Texas. I mean, he got a big ranch right outside of Dallas. But back to the Razorbacks, Coach Cal, man, what he did a great job in recruiting. What he did, he didn't get all the best players, but a lot of the best players on paper, and they just ain't performed. So we have and I'm not saying get rid of them, but it's a business now. So if you're not performing, you got to handle up and make some more stuff happen. You got to, the flavor ain't right. You need a little salt and pepper on it, and we ain't got that right now. Improving,
feels like we can't improve. Just salt and pepper. I think you need some sriracha. You got to spice this thing up, man.
You ain't. Hey, I agree, Phil. I could have kept going with that, but I kind of short-handed. But yeah, you definitely right, man. I was saying this morning about the guard play, man. Is the general, man. Like Matt was the quarterback. Matt was. I mean, I ain't gonna get on Matt Jones, but that's my homeboy, and he was awesome. He ran the offense. He was smart. You have to run the point guard position smart. You have to get everybody involved. Just like LeBron James. When LeBron James first came to the league, he couldn't shoot, but he could play everything else though. But now that he got older, the man can shoot like crazy. He worked on it, and he can shoot really good. I had somebody tell me the other day, man, LeBron can shoot. I'm like, dude, you better go YouTube that man, because he can play. But, yeah, Boogie, he's young. And like I say, Coach Cal, he got a lot of the 5-star players. They were 4 and 5 stars. And, he's known for that. So that's what he did. He went and grabbed a great guard on paper out of New York and he's the baby. So, like, okay, I can have him for 2 years, at least 1 year, 2 years, maybe two. Now, right now, I know he ain't going to get drafted. Just like you said, man, how they going to get drafted? They're going to be here next year. They're going to be on the NIL, moving around. And Coach Cal working on it right now. I know he is. He ain't going to sit there and just get embarrassed, you know. And just like Tennessee coach said, hey, you got to sit down, man. Even though they're getting paid a lot of money, it's a business now. That's the whole point of Cal being at Arkansas and these players that we have that's sitting in the University of Arkansas right now walking around because of the NIL. If it wasn't no NIL, none of them would be here. And Matt, Phil, you know that, you know. But I just hope we can turn it around. We do have a few, I wouldn't say cakewalk games, but we have a few games we can win, and maybe that'll change a little thing, change a few things. But Big Z got to play, man. He can play. Why would he be sitting on the bench? And he can score. He's probably the best shooter we got other than Thero. And then Davis, you got to play him anyway. Hey, just like back in the project, back in the days, you got to shoot till you get on.
Though. Cecil, it's like, so Big Z has shown flashes here and there. It's just been flashes. Hasn't been anything close to a complete game in over a month, and you haven't seen really even the flashes too much in the SEC games yet. You know, with Phil, seeing just an amazing amount of inconsistency, even amongst the guys who are playing to a point well. It's just
Phil, he can shoot free throws.
Sure, he can shoot free throws, but he's. I don't have the season numbers in front of me here, but it's. He really isn't. He really isn't producing when he's got the opportunity. In these 3 games and really over the last month, we saw a flash from Z in the first month, but otherwise, it's, you know, just I'm just not sure if the physicality is there to play down low in this league. And yes, he's got a beautiful outside shot. It's great, but I don't think that's the thing that you're going to be hanging your hat on. Otherwise, I think he'd play more than 5.5 minutes. I really do.
Okay, man. Hey, you still got to play him though, because he can shoot threes. You got to rotate it. When you put the same, if you're cooking chicken and you use the same ingredients, it's going to taste the same. You got to, like you say, you got to spice it up. And we got 4, how many players we got? 9-man roster?
It's 8 to 9. That's right.
Okay, we got a 9-man roster. Everybody's supposed to play, man. And I'm going to tell you something else. Arkansas, we need to, like when we was behind, we started pressing the ball. Them are youngsters. They babies, and they get paid for it. So they got to be able to run the flow all game. So they got to press the ball more. And Big Z got to play in the game too, though. And Davis, he can play. He just got to get on. It's the chemistry, man. It's not. And then again, you got Boogie up there at the top. He got a cool name, but his game ain't showing up to his name. And he was supposed to be taking shots. I'm watching every game that we play. You know, he's got to get everybody involved. That's what LeBron James do. He get everybody involved. That's why he's so great.
Hey, Cecil.
And I'm going to hang up, man. Y'all have a blessed day.
It's good to hear from you. Thanks very much. Matt, I lost count of like the number of things Cecil said this team needs right now. It's not a matter of one thing, two things. There's about a handful of a starting 5 of things that need to, you know, I think turn into a positive way. Consistency would be one of them. I don't think Zvonimir Ivisic is the answer to the team's ills. I think he could be a little piece of the answer, but right now it's at least on the offensive side. There's just a lot. There's a lot to worry about.
Yeah, the second half shooting percentage for Florida, they again were close to what was that? 31% in the second. No, 48%. So that's 2 games in a row. Ole Miss was around 48% as well in the second half. That's 2. You know, you're not going to win a lot of games like that. But I know what he said. He wants Boogie to be a facilitator. I'm with you. I want my point guard to facilitate, and I don't want him to be a high volume shooter like Russell Westbrook. How many championships does Russell Westbrook win? 0. You can't be a high volume point guard shooter and shoot 30% or 24% and think you're going to win any games. You know, you gotta kind of be that Deron Williams. You know, it's okay to shoot the rock, but it's when you're open. But get a and. Well, what are you supposed to do, Phil? If I keep passing you the ball and you keep missing, why am I going to keep passing you the ball? Same thing as a quarterback. If I keep throwing you the ball and you keep dropping passes, How am I going to come to, he keeps throwing the ball to guys and we keep not making shots. So eventually he's probably like, well, if they can't hit it, maybe I'm going to shoot it.
That's what I mean. It's just, you go from this guy needs to be one certain thing, but the thing that you're talking about that he needs to do also is it depends upon other guys making shots. And that's not happening on a consistent basis right now. So it's one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. The next thing you know, you got 4 or 5 things that don't look right. Brought to you by the Stadium Shop on Razorback right next to Bohm Walker. You are a Razorback fan if you're listening to this, and you want to look right, of course. You got all that you need, including Razorback tailgating deals, game day, man cave decorations, and everything for a dorm room. I stopped over at the Stadium Shop a few days ago, picked up a couple of hats, including this swinging ribby that I'm wearing with the great mesh backing. This is outstanding. Doesn't get any more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Local, family, alumni-owned and operated. You can call them at 479-STADIUM. Go to shoponrazorback.com or just stop by the Stadium Shop on Razorback and make sure they know ESPN Arkansas sent you. Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation gives us a visit right after this.
And like Jackie Gleason said, my talent came from the Lord, so I can't really take any credit for what I've been blessed with.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
Hello, everyone. It's your favorite president, Donald J. Trump, here to introduce something really special. You're going to love it. My new Trump watches. It's one of the best watches made. Wear it proudly on your wrist, and everyone will know what it's for, who it represents. Get your Trump watch right now. Go to gettrumpwatches.com. It's Trump time.
Celebrate the inauguration of President Trump with his new amazing watches. A true collector's item. Very limited. They will sell out. Go to gettrumpwatches.com now to get your Trump watch before they're gone. It's an easy URL to remember. gettrumpwatches.com. Don't miss your chance to own a valuable piece of history. Go now to gettrumpwatches.com and get your watch today. See gettrumpwatches.com for details. Celebrate President Trump's return with these limited edition beautiful new Trump watches. Hurry, go now to gettrumpwatches.com.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Come see Cody and the gang on Advanced Mechanical Performance. You can find him at 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Need repair or service for your ATV or UTV? Advanced Mechanical Performance can do it all, as well as taking care of all of your power sports parts accessory needs. Give him a call today at 434-4161. That's 434-4161. Or stop by 3201 Wheeler Avenue. Advanced Mechanical Performance. It's what you should be striving for.
The nation's best home court advantage lives inside Bud Walton Arena. The Razorbacks are back inside the Basketball Palace of Mid-America, and Coach John Calipari and the Hogs need you there and need you loud all season long. If you have tickets, make sure they're being used. If you need tickets, head over to SeatGeek.com. SeatGeek, that's the official resale marketplace of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Remodeling your bathroom
bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South C Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
She was a shark smile in a yellow van. She came around and I stole the glance in my youth. The vampire, Evelyn shone white as roses stain. At bedtime, but who was right on the moonlit light? Better in my eye, 85 down the road of a dead end lane. She said, oh, baby, baby. I said, oh, baby.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
A Monday morning means a visit with Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation as we get into 2025 a little bit more. Mike, good morning. How's it going today?
Pretty good, pretty good. I guess I will become this week the media hack, the Kool-Aid drinker, the sunshine pumper, because I'm not freaking out over basketball right now because we're still pretty early in this thing. I noticed that one of these projection services now have them not making the tournament. They've got them, I think, 14th in the SEC listed with a 10% chance of getting in. It's just way too early, guys. They've played three of the best teams in the country and progressively lost by smaller margins each time they played. It's gotten a little closer each time. And so we'll see where it goes with the rest of these teams. They've still got some good teams in front of them, but they've got some teams that you would think are beatable too. But there's nobody that's a guarantee in this league. I've said this before. I think whoever finishes last, if you somehow put them in the NCAA tournament or put them in another conference and let them play in that conference, they might end up being the top 3 or 4 in that conference. That's how good this league is. There's nobody that's really bad.
I'm going to refer to, is it okay if we call you Sunshine Mike throughout the segment now? Because obviously that's the way
sure. Go ahead and do that.
Well, you said the way you're talking about basketball, it sounds a lot like football right now. You know, it's just you are going to be held to a certain standard of that you're going to have in order to make the tournament. And right now, 15 games left. I don't blame folks for starting to get nervous about this. And the main reason is because the league is so good. But that puts a huge premium on these next 2 games because I feel like Mizzou's a little bit of a surprise the way they've played this year. I think LSU is eminently beatable in their own building, but it also takes them playing their best game in about a month.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to figure. It's to me, it's not hard to figure out what's going on. We've never had this before, ever. A team rebuilt totally from the top to the bottom. Everybody they have came out of the portal, and that includes Trevin Brazile because he went into the portal and came back out of it. So, you can put the pieces in there. Jimmy Dykes said it on the telecast the other night of the Florida game. He said the pieces are there. They're not coming together yet. And that's what they have to do. And I mean, Jonas Adu talked about after the game. He said he and John L. Davis, Nelly, he said, we realize in our in our position on our previous teams, all we had to do was score. He said, we're expected to be leaders now because we're older. And he said, neither one of us is a kind of a guy that leads by talking. He said, we always just kind of led by the way we played. And he said, now we're supposed to talk. And he said, how are you supposed to lead guys when you're not scoring a lot right now? And, you've got people saying that Nellie Davis is making so much money that he just doesn't care. I'm not buying that. I don't see somebody that doesn't care. I think he's totally lost right now. He can't figure out what to do because he's not even making layups. He went in and missed a layup there in the second half. He went 0 for 8. And I just think his confidence is shot. And people say, well, how does that affect things? Golf, any sport, golf is the one I think about. Muscle memory is everything. When I start hitting the ball wacky, I start thinking, well, wait a minute, I'm analyzing my swing in the middle of the swing. Well, what does that do? It makes it worse. Any kind of an action in sports, whether you're shooting a jump shot or whatever you're doing, pitching, trying to throw a curveball, if you analyze that in the middle of it, it's not going to work. So the only way this shooting comes back with any of these guys is if muscle memory takes back over and they're not thinking about it when they're doing it. And I do believe it will happen because I don't think they're shooting poorly just because of the defense they're facing. I see too many guys with wide open shots and they're missing. And they were making those shots in December. So I got to believe some of that's coming back.
Yeah, what do we when I look at the last game, I thought Nine had his best game as far as playing 6'11", 240. There's a couple times he hasn't. I don't know who does DJ Wagner, he's such a dog, man. I love his game. He just not hitting shots. And then and 3 as well. Both of those kids are they're uber athletic. They can get to the rim. But what you find out, Mike, is when you can't hit shots, then you can't get to the rim because then they start sinking in a little bit more. And I mean that we're going to have to. I don't know if you can hold Florida to 28 points in the first half, man. That's something to build on right there. I mean, you can play defense if we want to.
Well, I think Cal kind of hinted at it when he said they may have to change who they're playing, and he's talking about going with 2 bigs. And I think one of the things with Jonas Adu is that he's kind of been, he was injured and then he had the flu and all this stuff, and they weren't used to him scoring, so nobody's looking for him. Well, now all of a sudden the other night, the 2 times they got the ball to him when you attack and people fall on you, and then if you can get the ball to him, he's right there with a dunk. So I think the idea is to get more bigs inside and then get more, assists. Because you can't have Boogie going in there going up against 3 guys. They'll just reject the ball and it's going the other direction. So you got to have options. So that may be where he goes. We're still trying
and the
to figure
rebounding too, right? Because I mean, we keep
Sure.
getting out rebounded.
Yeah, some of that is guys just not being in the right position. When they got down to 3 and they came back down the floor and played really good defense, and the shot was missed. But what happened there? Brazil was in too tight under the basket, and the guy behind him, he should have been trying to push back and block that guy back further, and the ball went over his outreach and went right back to that guy. He kicks it back out, and they make a 3. Now, if you get the ball back there and go down and score, it's a 1-point game. So those are things that it's positioning on rebounding. I don't think they're just lazy, but I think the positioning is bad. And some of guys, look, I've always said this. There's an element to basketball that's pure luck when it comes to rebounding, because I've seen it happen too many times. The ball comes off the rim in a weird way, and you happen to be standing right there, and it goes right to you. So it's not always just somebody being lazy, but it is often somebody being out of position, somebody not being physical enough and not backing the person behind them out a little bit away from the basket. There's a lot of little things there, but they do have to rebound better. But look, the biggest problem is shooting. You just can't shoot the way they're shooting right now and expect to beat anybody because you don't generate enough offense.
I've seen those criticisms, or at least the guess that because X player is making a certain amount of money, that means that he's not giving his best effort. And I think that can often be a lazy way to look at it, because if you look at professional sports, and if you're going to look at the way the college sports is constructed right now, Mike, every year is a free agent year. The whole story of being a free agent in pro sports is that you have your best season or you play incredibly well before you go into free agency so that you make yourself more marketable. So that's the way I would view being a college athlete right now. Every single year until they tell you otherwise is a free agent year. So there's no reason to be lazy. And I'm not saying that's why they're losing. I just think it's a very convenient reason to come up with for other players why your team's not playing well.
Well, a lot of fans are mad at the way things are going right now with these players getting this large amount of money, and so they're just, I don't know, even know if they really believe it, but they're throwing it out there that they've got their money, they don't care. I've never run across an athlete that said to me, I'm making good money. I don't care what happens. They care. If you think that Nellie Davis is walking around whistling and just happy, I guarantee you that guy's miserable right now. He wants to perform. And Cal said something else. He said they're hearing this from all directions right now, and that's an acknowledgement that they know people are all over them. And I think they even have he talked about a moment in that game, and I think it may have been that one of those dish-offs where there was a dunk, and I'm not sure. I think it might have been Adu Theroux who turned around and gestured to the crowd, and that's one of the few times that a player on this team has tried to generate I think they feel weird in front of this crowd because they're all new and they know they're not performing well. It's like going somewhere and in a play and you're supposed to perform and then you don't and you think the crowd hates you and you just feel weird out there in front of them. So there's not a comfort factor in front of Arkansas's fans because of all these new guys. And it may have to be guys, it may have to be next year, hopefully, because I've talked to people. How many of these guys would come back? I mean, is Boogie Flan, he's late first-round projection. If he did come back, would he hit the portal for another situation? Who can you keep? Because if you can keep a core of these guys next year and recruit well and then get some guys out of the portal, then I think you've got a better situation. I don't think there's anybody right now in the SEC that's in Arkansas' situation where virtually almost the entire team is new, with a new coach. That's just too much new. So I think they have to move away from that to a certain extent. But some of the stuff that's being said is idiotic. There was a guy on Facebook that said this is the worst Arkansas team since Nolan's first team. I mean, give me a break. Don't say stupid stuff like that. Cal's coaching reminds him of Pelfrey's coaching. I mean, I know they're mad and they're exaggerating for effect, but this is what happens in this day and age. When people get mad, then they just completely exaggerate everything. It's bad enough as it is. Don't make it worse.
Hey, Mike, Dallas Cowboys, they're letting Coach McCarthy go. What do you think there? Who do you think they'll go after?
Well, I got no idea. At least they did that because I thought they might not.
So you like that move?
Yeah, I think you got to do something. Now, the best thing that would happen is if Jerry Jones said he's turning the running of the team over to his son, Stephen Jones. Just do that. And then everybody would be happy, and that hasn't happened. But that's where you start, and then you've just got to start making some sense with what you pay certain players. Who do you keep? It's not just who you draft; it's who you give up and who do you trade for, and things like that. I don't see any kind of quick fix for Dallas. I don't. They just got a lot of issues right now.
Mike, we'll leave it there while the sunshine is still out. I appreciate you hopping on. Always appreciate you coming on with us, and we'll do it again Monday next week.
Okay. See you guys.
You got it. It's Mike Irwin, at least for today. We called him Sunshine. You can, of course, get him every Monday here on Halftime and on Pig Trail Nation on all of their various outlets. 877-377-6963 to get with us here on Halftime. We'll come back, wrap up the first hour in just a moment.
I think about the Tuna's talent. The Tuna would not be called the Tuna if it wasn't for the man above.
This is Halftime.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren, the best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Old Man Winter is here, bringing cold, nasty weather. And Jelco Outdoors has all the gear to keep you warm and dry. Insulated coats, jackets, overalls, coveralls, thermal socks, and gloves for kids up to men's 4X. Jelco Outdoors has the largest selection of winter boots in the River Valley to keep your feet warm and dry. Need a portable heater? Jelco has plenty of Mr. Heater portable propane heaters and accessories. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors. Stay safe and stay warm this winter. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, your cold weather store.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh, okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. Whether you're buying a car, selling a car, or taking care of a car, we've got you. Be sure to follow us on Facebook to see how you can take advantage of $1,000 your way on select road-ready certified used cars with warranty, as well as buy 3 get 1 free on all tires in our Meineke Car Care Center. Start your new year right. Call, click, or come by today and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Lost everything to you. You say you want to start something new, and it's breaking my heart you're leaving. Baby, I'm grieving. But if you want to leave, take good care. Hope you have a lot of nice things to wear, and then a lot of nice things turn bad out there. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by just a cold smile. It's a a wild world.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
So one job gets taken, another is open now. Mike Vrabel will be the new head coach of the New England Patriots. One, it seems like a marriage made in heaven. And now Dallas will be looking for a new head coach. What do you think is the more attractive coaching job that's open, Matt? Because you got the Cowboys, the Jags, the Bears, Saints, Raiders, Jets. I know which one is last. That would be the team in green, not teal and green. I guess you'd put Cowboys at the top of that list, but it also goes with a hefty level of expectations.
Well, if you're Dallas, you got one of the best defensive end outside Michael Parsons. He's one of the best if he's healthy. You got a top 3 guy at his position. With number 7, their cornerback, he's a top 3. So you actually have some talent on that defense in Dallas. CeeDee Lamb's a top 7 receiver. I don't care who you are. That dude can go. You got to get somebody to go with him. Got to get a running back. Got to get a quarterback. I mean, there's some pieces you got to get, but there are some nice pieces around there. If you're looking at Dallas, or if you're looking at some of these teams, and you think Shedeur Sanders is the guy, and then you can, strong arm the rest of the league and say, don't take him. He's not going to sign with you. Don't wait. No, nobody's going to take him. If you put it out there, if you take Shedeur Sanders, he will not sign with you. He'll sit out. Not one single team would take. Then Dallas can draft him whenever they want to.
So speaking of Sanders, and it's just, you look at Jerry's record of hiring head coaches, and it's either been a sitting NFL head coach or somebody that had been an NFL coach that has a Super Bowl championship, or in the case of Parcells, multiple titles, or someone that's been a coordinator right off of the team, in the case of Campo, in the case of Jason Garrett. Or someone that's not had head coaching experience.
Maybe he looks at Notre Dame. Maybe he goes back the college route. I mean, wasn't that his best one? Was Jerry Johnson and Barry Switzer? He grabbed them both from college and kind of had the most success. So maybe he's looking. Maybe go back to college.
I think he also had the personal relationship with those guys at the same time. So I do wonder a little bit about kicking the tires on Deion. You make a phone call, you send a text, see if there's a little interest. He's been asked about it over and over again. He gave all the right answers about being the Colorado guy, and he's got guys that have already committed to him. But I guess if you're looking at some of the track record for Jerry, the thing about with Johnson and Switzer is they had multiple national championships in college and had more than the 2 years experience or 3 or 4 years experience of head coaching. But this is a story that'll be driving the offseason for quite a while now. Hour number 2 coming up on halftime, 877-377-6963. For calls and for text. 3 up, 3 down, about 15 minutes. Stay with us.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball to NHL and UFC, head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Fan. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
With the new Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, $7 goes a long way. A cheesy gordita crunch stacked with layers of luxury. A Doritos Locos Tacos, extravagantly crispy. A beefy 5-layer burrito overflowing with cheesy indulgence. It's all you want and more. For less. The new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell. It's Lux for less.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Touchdown, Arkansas! How did he get that wide open?
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got to take him in here. That's the perspective. Ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
But they were one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Turn it.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
One minute after 12 o'clock, it is officially the afternoon, and you're listening to ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com and the Hit That Line Now app. I'm Phil Elson, my partner Matt Jones, Christian Johnston in the producer's chair. No guest. Well, we will have Dr. Charlie Liggett from River Valley Smiles about 15, 20 minutes from now for our weekly 3 Up, 3 Down. Otherwise, now's the time to get in with us anytime you want. 877-377-6963. At basketball tomorrow night against LSU. You ready, Matt Jones, to throw the word must win in front of any basketball game yet? Feels like you got to win one sooner rather than later.
Well, it's, to use a golf analogy or to use a baseball analogy, when you're kind of having a hard time at the plate, you just want to see, you got to get one base hit. It doesn't matter how you do it. We just got to find a way to win one. It starts with one before we can worry about anything else. Now, we lose these 2 on the road, then yeah, there's no reason to talk about basketball anymore this year. I mean, they're not. So yeah, these 2 games, because the reason why I feel is we're dropping down in class. We're dropping down to a lower class of team, 2 teams that aren't going to make the NCAA tournament. You better show up and play against these guys. You lose these 2 games, it's on to baseball season, and man, that's quicker than what football season was this year.
I'm not ready to go right to baseball. See, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm fired up about it because we're a little more than a month away, like 1 day and a month away from first pitch. But I don't want to just talk baseball without the games yet. We need to talk basketball with games coming up now. But, man, you're right. You go 0-5. If you start 0-5,
We got to
Are
get.
you
It starts with one. You gotta find a way to win one and get the proverbial monkey off your back. You gotta find a way to win one.
Yeah, and it's weird to think about the idea that just one win could start to cure your ails. I guess the trick or the idea is thinking, well, how do you get that one win? And I think part of it of what you're saying is the teams you're going up against here. These are the teams that you're supposed to beat. I think if you look at Tennessee, the way they were playing. I can't say you're supposed to beat them on the road.
You could win 4 in a row. We could be 4-3 looking at this schedule. It's not going to be easy, but LSU, Missouri, then you get two more games at home. Georgia and Oklahoma's. I mean, those are pretty good. They're better than LSU, Missouri, but you get them at home.
So I think there's just less. There's fewer games this year. You'd look at and be like, yeah, I mean that's a walk. Is it? Well, maybe it was a year or two ago, but it ain't right now. Couple callers on hold. You can get with us as well. This is the time to get on. 877-377-6963. Happy Monday, Charlie. How you doing today?
Well, I'm good, Phil. Everything's good. I'm glad the whole McCarthy thing is over. Now, I mean this with all due respect towards him because I'm going to say it this way. I actually think McCarthy's a good coach. I truly do. I think for his career, he had to get out of that mess. And I think about Dan Quinn, and I think about what he's doing in Washington. And, for these guys, I'm not saying every coach that has been fired from Dallas has went elsewhere and done well, but I kind of somewhat root Dan Quinn on, and I'm going to root for McCarthy too, because it is what it is. I'm glad, to me, how y'all explain this to me, because how in the hell was Jerry able to withhold Mike McCarthy about a week ago from going to interview with the Bears when he is no longer under contract with the Cowboys? I don't understand if that's just a Jerry being a Jerry power move.
Well, there might be, Charlie, there might be, like there's exclusive negotiating windows with your own free agents. There may have been that written into the contract. That's all I could think about.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, it may have been, but McCarthy had to sign it because he needed a job, man. So, and it is what it is, man. I hate it.
He said you can't interview with the Bears, but he sure can now. It's not like he can't.
Oh yeah.
It's not like he can't get that job now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He can now, and I'm glad. I'm glad for him that he's out of that. And being a Cowboys fan, it just stinks because I feel like here we go. Let's just turn the soap opera on. Let's just get it rolling. Anyway, Commissioner Jones. Since you're running this whole playoffs thing, what's the trophy going to be for whoever wins this thing? You got that figured out?
It's always tacos.
Just a quick trip down the street to Mexico.
It's just always, we don't bet anything with if it's just camaraderie. Just always tacos.
What I appreciate about Matt more than anything is that he doesn't do punishments. We don't have to run through traffic or anything. Yeah, I don't have to wear a sandwich board that says I suck at picking games or something like that.
Yeah, Matt, you got to do that next year, man. Whoever finishes last has to do something crazy, bro. You got to. I mean, also, I think you guys should start picking the NFL playoffs. I mean, let's go for it.
Too late.
True. But I will give Washington some credit, man. I was thinking, Matt, in the fourth quarter, they were showing Jaden Daniels' numbers there in the fourth quarter. I was thinking about how Troy Aikman used to talk about quarterbacks, and one of the things he said he evaluates quarterbacks on now, how they perform in the fourth quarter. And for a rookie to perform how he's performed in the fourth quarter this year, time and time again, I'm not talking about the Hail Mary. That was kind of luck. But if you take that away and you look at everything else, this dude plays his best when he's supposed to play his best. And, I give Dan Quinn a lot of credit for building culture there and belief, and I'm happy for him. I'm a Cowboys fan, but it's like I can't not root for Dan Quinn. Like I can't understand. I mean, he's with the Commanders, but I hate the Eagles and the Giants more, so it's just kind of that way. But anyways, Phil, as far as this basketball team goes, before I get off, I called in the other day and I said it sucks because as hard as they played on defense the other day, I thought they did, other than a few things out of timeouts where they maybe, made some mistakes. I thought they played their freaking butt off. And when they cut that thing to 3, it's just like they can't get over the hump, man. And it's frustrating. And I don't know what the answer is right now, but It's frustrating, but yeah, one of these next two you got to win. You got to win one of these next two, or it's probably over. Anyways, y'all have a good one.
All right, way to go, Charlie. Appreciate that very much. We got Robert in Fort Smith also on hold. Let's talk with him. Robert, how's it going today?
Not bad, guys. I kind of agree with Matt, too, though. You don't win games. We don't have to worry about March anymore. But my thing is, I was listening to Mike Irwin, and I listened to a caller before that. You know, Mike's talking about fans being upset the way we talk. I get that. But that's the other flip side to that coin. You're getting paid now. As long as you ain't cussing them and just talking, just really, just mean, I could say that's what fans do when you get paid. You get that last. You think Denver Bronco fans were happy yesterday? No, you weren't happy with your Steelers the other day, but they're getting paid, so you get that retribution from that. Not going to school anymore for school.
These kids better stay in class, or they better get an agent that can speak Italian.
I don't think there's anything wrong with criticism for, and that's the same before they started getting paid for NIL purposes too. It's just a matter of calling people out or not necessarily like saying by name, but coming with the nastiness. And sometimes I feel like but now that they're getting paid, well, now you can, you want to say anything you want to say about a college athlete, and chances are you might have done that to begin with. I think, more than anything is the idea that that it's been marketed somewhat as the most expensive roster in college basketball. I don't know if that's true or not, but it certainly would be one of the more well-paid rosters. And you want to feel like the word would be investment, right? Some of you are probably donating to NIL and donating directly to men's basketball, so that's your investment. And you want to feel like for the amount of money that's being spent, you're getting something back for it. But this is the same way that Yankees fans, Cowboys fans feel, where you've got the most money in the sport, but you don't feel you're getting, it's not your money necessarily in those cases, but you don't feel that the roster is worth the money being spent, and so you point that out. And now it happens in college sports. To me, that's the difference. It isn't necessarily the criticism of them, because I think fans have been criticizing college athletes for years, just maybe a little bit softer than they were. 877-377-6963 for thoughts on that. And the other aspect, too, is John Calipari is the head coach, and there's the feeling that when you get a guy like Cal, that automatically you're elevated to, like, Final Four or bust, which I feel is, I can't say that's where you were with Muss last year, where you were shown after 25 years in the wilderness outside the Sweet 16 that you are a Sweet 16 program, 3 years in a row and 2 in the Elite Eight. I felt like, you elevated yourself in terms of a program from where it already was. Muss had it at a good level until last year, and it doesn't look anything like a Final Four entrant or an Elite Eight entrant, or like you're saying, Matt, maybe not even an NCAA tournament entrant, which would be absolutely shocking. Independent of the idea of a brand new roster and all of that, that wouldn't matter. It's a John Calipari coach team. That means you're supposed to be good, get to the tournament, and do something there.
Man, I'd go. I haven't delved into this stat right here, but I would have to imagine any team that starts 0-5 in conference play does not make the NCAA tournament. That's how important these next two games are. You can't. You got to go, because what is it? It's teams are winning like at a 12% clip on the road right now. So that you start looking at the numbers, and nobody's going to feel sorry for you, man. You got to get to work, and these next two games and it's one at a time. Actually, we got to take one at a time. Baton Rouge tomorrow night, most important game of the season.
Robert in Gainesville in quotes, will take us into the break. What's up, Robert? How are you?
Not much. Real quick, I know you're short on time. I know this is not going to happen. I know, and I also know I'm not an Ohio State person, so I don't know the craziness that goes on between Ohio State and Michigan. But if I happen to be this coach from Ohio State and I accidentally won the national championship, up on stage, I would let them know that this was my last game, because my family is more important than death threats from people who are supposed to support me and my team.
All right. Well, that'd be an interesting thing to do up on the stage with a confetti falling down.
If I'm Notre
Thanks,
Dame,
Robert.
If I'm Notre Dame, when I come out for warm-ups, I'm wearing Michigan uniforms just to get in their head a little bit. We're gonna have the Michigan helmet on just so they'll start having flashbacks and nightmares.
Come out to Hail to the Victors. Do it.
Absolutely.
Do it. Might as well. You might as well also get to LearNet.com when you're looking to get your favorite lures from Pradco at the click of a button. LearNet doesn't only have brands such as Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more. Also includes exclusive deals and baits that you won't find anywhere else for all your favorite brands and free shipping for all U.S. orders over $35 at LearNet.com. Check it out today and stay with us because we have 3 Up, 3 Down in just a moment on Halftime.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
This is Halftime.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. Join me, Phil, and Dr. Charles Liggett every Monday at 12:15 for my favorite segment, 3 Up, 3 Down.
I don't think Rodgers is going out the way Elway did.
I hope he does. I hope he plays for the Jets.
That's right, Dolphins fan. Makes sense.
I'm a patient there, and you can be too. 3 Up, 3 Down is presented by River Valley Smile Center. Visit rivervalleysmiles.com or give them a call at 479-646-0706. That's River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Old Man Winter is here, bringing cold, nasty weather. And Jelco Outdoors has all the gear to keep you warm and dry. Insulated coats, jackets, overalls, coveralls, thermal socks, and gloves. For kids, up to men's 4X. Jelco Outdoors has the largest selection of winter boots in the River Valley to keep your feet warm and dry. Need a portable heater? Jelco has plenty of Mr. Heater portable propane heaters and accessories. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors. Stay safe and stay warm this winter. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, your cold weather store.
At Central Hydraulic in Fort Smith, the work doesn't just stop when the temperature drops. We're your go-to service provider. Be sure to prep your machine and stay ahead of the frost and costly damage. Still using summer oil? Winter-friendly oil is the weapon your machine needs. Be sure to get an oil change. Check your hydraulic fluid, fuel prep, and battery check. For all these services needed in the cold weather months, come see Central Hydraulic for all your hydraulic needs at 6104 Highway 271 South or call at 479-646-0571. Central Hydraulic, your service provider.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
You can basically set your timer to it. About 12:15 on a Monday, you're going to hear widespread panic here on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com, because we've got Dr. Charlie Liggett on the phone from River Valley Smile Center, and it's about time for 3 Up, 3 Down.
It's time for 3 Up, 3 Down.
Presented by River Valley Smile Center with Dr. Charles Liggett.
3, good morning, good afternoon, good night.
What does 3 up and 3 down mean to you, Airman?
End of an inning, strike 3.
Dr. Liggett, good to have you as always today. I was thinking, because it's playoff time in the NFL, this might be one of the first 3 Up, 3 Down where you are not going to be mentioning your Miami Dolphins. So, I mean, you can have a fourth if you want to because they're not playing, but it's good to have you, man. My team's out of it too, so you know.
Great to be here, guys. How's everything going?
Happy Monday.
That's right. Happy Monday. You're the one that makes everything bright for it. Heck, Mike Irwin was sunshine during his phone segment with us earlier. So Dr. Liggett's usually sunshine. We're going to have to give him a different sort of a nickname today. I'll go with my first one here. I don't know if this is like a broken record or whatnot. If I've probably gone with this decision a couple of times before. Izzy Higginbottom is my first up. It's just, the Arkansas women's basketball is just, it's going to be a tough season. We know that. They dropped a tough one by 30 to Tennessee yesterday. Tennessee's just a high octane kind of a team. I've been around some teams that had bad seasons before, just not usually here at Arkansas in terms of baseball and basketball. And you get to take, when you're at every game, if you're a season ticket holder that attends every game, you probably view this the same way that I do. You want to see your team perform well. You want to see them win, but you got to take your joys in small doses sometimes. And that's exactly what she's not a small dose of it. She's a humongous dose of enjoyment watching basketball. For right now, the person who has scored the third most points in the country. And Higginbottom dropped another 25 against Tennessee yesterday. 24.5 points per game. And I mean, Matt, her scoring average keeps going up. It was at 22 like a week and a half ago. Now it's at 25 because she's on a streak of 5 games in a row with at least 23 points or more. And that included 36 last Thursday in a win at Auburn. And yes, the right thumb is still wrapped up. The left calf is still wrapped up. And there's moments where it looks to me like she needs to get off the floor because she looks like she's in pain, but she never plays like it. And I have to appreciate that kind of effort and that kind of want to. So
you think if we could have held on to a couple of the girls that we lost, we'd have a different team?
Well, probably, yeah. I mean, but I think you could say the case for just about any team.
Yeah.
But and I know that's the next thing that people ask about with Izzy, and I know she's supposed to be out of eligibility. I don't know if there'll be some sort of new eligibility that's brought in because of the JUCO thing, and they're just going to give more eligibility. I'd be surprised if she were to ever leave Arkansas. But I'm enjoying watching her, and I'm going to be at every women's game, and I think sometimes you got to take your joy in small doses. And then the other reason to take the joy in small doses would be my first down, and that was because of another loss by 30 points, 93-63 to Tennessee, and that's 4 losses by 30 points or more this year. Those coming recently against LSU and Texas, and then earlier against UCLA. And, of course, there's some really good teams on the schedule coming up in the future. So hopefully that number stays at 4, and the SEC wins climb above where they are right now, which is 1. All right, Matt, you're up.
It's kind of like what Larry Brown said about Allen Iverson. He's like, we have to have him shoot. It's like the same thing with Iggy or Izzy. It's like she's got to shoot. She's got to shoot more. He's like, I wish Allen Iverson would have shot more. You know, she's got to shoot. All right.
Absolutely agree.
My first up goes to Barcelona winning the Supercopa yesterday. Real Madrid scored. Mbappe, he scored the first goal to go up 1-0, and then Barca just turned it on. The wonder kid Jamal scored. Lewandowski, the Polish assassin, scored. Rafinha, he had a brace. It was it was a no doubter. So that was pretty cool to watch. And then the last time I'll do this is my first down, but I'm not going to pile on. If we're not any good, I'm not going to bring it up. We're just not any good. We're 0-3. This Arkansas basketball team. And it's up to them. It's up to them how they want this season to be. If they want to turn it around this week, we can. And if you don't, they better be going to class.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you look at the men's team, and I feel the talent is there. The coach is there. So, I mean, that also leads to the disappointment of the start, too. It's just those two things for me go together. Dr. Liggett, you're up. You're number one.
My first up, the largest comeback in NCAA women's basketball history. So the SMU-Pittsburgh game, there was 1:37 left in the second quarter. SMU was beating Pitt 46-14, so they're up by 32. Then Pitt goes on a 13-58 run and ends up winning the game by 13. Pretty impressive comeback right there.
Them fighting Panthers right there, Dr. Liggett. Did you I'll let you go with your down, and then I'll bump in.
Pantherettes.
Okay, I'll just kind of jump on what Matt was saying. It doesn't do any good. Everybody knows we have problems. It's just we'll just see if we can work them out. Hopefully we can. We got to get Nelly going. I think he's one of the keys to our season. So get him going. Start making more than 2 of our layups, and hopefully we can turn it around.
Yeah, Doc, I'm not a negative person, and I don't want to be, and so I'm not going to beat them up all year. You know, if this is how it is, then we'll move on and go to something else because it hurts me too. I don't like seeing them lose as well.
So I've got I had a second up. My second up really is going to be you, Dr. Liggett, because you stole mine with the one you just had. I mean, is this really reality where on an Arkansas radio show we both were going to bring up Pitt Panthers women's basketball because of this comeback? That's what I was going to do. I was 32-point lead with 1:37 left, and Pitt wins it. That's just not just the biggest comeback in NCAA women's basketball regulation history. The largest men's comeback was 34 points, Drexel over Delaware in 2018. Largest college football comeback, Michigan State over Northwestern by a 35-point deficit 19 years ago. The Vikings trailed Indianapolis by 33 in 2022 and still won the game in overtime. And in Major League Baseball, Cleveland trailed Seattle by 12 and won in 11 innings. That was the 2001 Seattle team that won 116 games and lost 46. And that's one of their 46 losses that year. Yeah.
You know that at that game, at that SMU Pittsburgh game, a ton of fans had to leave at halftime, right?
I don't know how many people are even showing up at the Peterson Center for that, to be quite honest. So you're right. But if they'd be leaving at the
second quarter, for nobody.
And then wondering if they're going to stay on the radio to try to listen to it. My second down is to the football team in Pittsburgh, my Steelers, because it's not just losing in the playoffs. It's how it happens. I can take a loss to Baltimore in the playoffs. That's a really good team. But they gave no effort at all in the first half. I didn't even think that was a team that showed up with any purpose to play watching the first half. And that's exactly what's happened each of the last 4 times that a Mike Tomlin coach Steelers team has gone into the playoffs. Down 21-0 to the Jags in 2018 and made it a game and lost by 3. Trailed Cleveland by 28. Trailed Kansas City by 28. And 21-0 to Baltimore. It's not just a loss, it's how it happens. They did not look like an NFL playoff team, and I didn't enjoy watching a minute of it, but I still watched the whole thing. Matt, your second one.
Yeah, the playoffs will find you out, that's for sure. In the FA Cup, Liverpool 4-0 take care of business, so they move on to the next round. Always good to win. And then my second down would be your boy Zion Williamson. He can't even make the team bus on time. He's struggle bussing right now. I don't know. He finally gets healthy, finally quits eating Wendy's all the time and plays a little bit, and then now he can't show up on time. Man, he's such a, you have these type of kids every so often, but dude is Charles Barkley coming out of Auburn. Like, he's supposed to be a G, and you haven't seen anything from him in his NBA career.
My thing, I think they'd also referred to this too, is if you're gonna suspend your big star for being late to a flight, it's not the first or probably
100%.
That this has happened.
100%. It's You can't do that as a player, Phil. There wasn't in Arkansas and in Jacksonville. I could count on one hand people that were late to meetings. You don't stay around long if you're going to be late to meetings. Even the veterans and the leaders, you show up on time. That's just something you have to do.
Dr. Liggett, what you got next?
Okay, my second up, not that I'm moving on to baseball season from basketball season. I'm definitely not, but man, it sure is nice for it to only be a month away. I was pretty excited to see all three of our projected starters being All-Americans. And I also heard some news that the NCAA is considering roster expansion to 38 players. Have you heard this, Phil?
I have. In order to give them a little leeway in the fall to bring in some players and still be able to cut instead of starting with, in the fall with what you're going to have in the spring.
So for like walk-on, basically.
Well, I think there's still going to be an idea for walk-ons. They haven't settled in on how many scholarships will be available in the SEC. We just have an idea that the roster limit will be 34. I think the idea is also you probably still spread out all the scholarship money to the entire 34. You just don't know, how many scholarships you'll be working with yet. So I don't know if it'll be a walk-on or not.
Okay. All right, and my second down was, I think this was the loudest doink in NFL history. The Will Lutz in the Denver loss to Buffalo. It was so loud and so long. Never heard anything like that.
Well, now they've got the goal standards, the uprights mic'd. Or maybe they didn't have them mic'd all the time before, because now we have. Heck, you can bet on this kind of stuff on BetSeries, whether or not there'll be a doink in a game. So it's become a thing. It's become a thing that the sickos are all about too. So I'm sure there have been some really loud doinks before. It's just a matter of how close to the lavalier microphone it hits.
Just didn't mic it well enough.
That's right. All right, I got a third here. My third up is to the other doink in the NFL playoffs over the weekend. And it isn't really just for the doink. It's for Zane Gonzalez.
6 different kickers. The 6th is Gonzalez. The first time he's kicking in the NFL since 2021. These now 6 games for Washington. And he's got a chance to get the Commanders a playoff win. And it has been a long time.
And then there was the doink that went along with it. But did you guys see him constantly combing over his hair with his fingers as he was trying to put his helmet back on his head? And they also showed him fiddling around with his kicker shoes and the socks. And it turns out that this is a kicker that has been fighting OCD his entire life. And I'd never seen somebody, fidget that much to put a helmet on while he's walking or anywhere around a football field. Maybe you have, Matt, but it took him like 20 seconds to put the helmet on. He kept taking it off and stroking his head and taking it off and stroking his head. And I kept thinking of Jack Nicholson's character in As Good as It Gets. And for someone who hadn't kicked in the NFL in 3 years, to hit all your field goals, including the last one, which sends you to the next round, and to be doing this with a public fight of OCD, and I'm sure people are making fun of him about it, I think he deserves an up for that.
Kevin Na, Sergio Garcia, Jason Duffner, all people that took them a long time when they get over the golf ball they either waggle or re-grip or do whatever. But, yeah, kickers are different cats, man. They are.
Like left-handed pitchers. Third down, kids being out of school again, Little Rock School District. I got 2 kids who were watching TV in the house. It's hilarious. I mean, they had like 2.5 weeks of of real vacation in the wintertime, and then no school on Monday. They had a little weekend of school. That was all Tuesday, Wednesday. The snow comes in. You're out Thursday. You're out Friday. You're out today. And it's just a vacation life. Good for you guys. Lucky you. Down for kids being out of school. I'm tired of it. All right, what's up, man?
My third up goes to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Ohio State Buckeyes. They have both earned the right to play for the national championship. That's pretty special, pretty cool. You're hearing a lot of reports about that Notre Dame coach, Chicago being interested, Dallas being interested. So we'll see if he stays at Notre Dame. At least he'll get an extension of some kind, maybe the Jimbo extension, 10 years, $100 million. And then my third down is actually an up. January 18th, Dave Chappelle hosts Saturday Night Live. So check that out. That'll be funny. That's coming up in 5 days.
We'll see if he makes it through the entire show. Dr. Liggett, what's next?
My last up. If you guys have never done it, I know Matt has, but you need to watch the college football playoff it's usually on ESPN2, but it's basically Pat McAfee's show, all the guys from Pat McAfee's show, and it's really, really fun to watch. So if you haven't
You mean like the actual broadcast of the game, right? Because I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, he's actually he's doing the play-by-play. One of his other guys is doing the color, and then like the other four guys that are on the show or on the sideline, it'll go down to them. And some of it's kind of goofy, but it's really fun, and I've enjoyed watching him on that.
McAfee does a little play-by-play with it too. I mean, it's like he's, they call it like what do they call it? Just a secondary broadcast or whatever.
Yeah.
And they say the traditional broadcast is on ESPN, but McAfee is doing some play-by-play. Like he's trying to be as I guess like normal sports broadcaster as he can, but of course it's Pat McAfee, so it's going to sound a lot different, and he's going to drop in all the Yinzer terms and everything. And I just that caught me a little by surprise because I thought it would just be like a back and forth conversation, kind of like the Manning cast, but he's doing a little play by play.
He is, and whenever on punts, he really gets into it. He'll start breaking everything down.
Of course he does. Why wouldn't he?
And speaking of commentators, how good is Mike Tirico? I mean, that call to end the Commanders game was pretty awesome.
I mean, I like Tirico. He's always been as professional as it gets. That's for sure. Do you have a third down, or did I miss it?
No, my third down was Tyson Fury retiring. He's 36, so he had just agreed to fight Anthony Joshua in a heavyweight match this year, but he's going to go ahead and retire, he said on social media. And I hate the fact that boxing isn't what it used to be. It was when there's a heavyweight bout, like, you go over to your friend's house or family's house and everybody get together and watch the Tyson fight or whatever. But it's just not that way anymore. Nobody cares about boxing. It's all kind of moved to MMA.
Well, they care about boxing, but if you got to be in your 60s and you got to be fighting somebody who's not a real boxer, and then everybody's interested in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Dr. Liggett, it's great to have you here. We always appreciate 3 Up, 3 Down, Matt. This is always I really enjoy the segment, and of course, you've been a patient at Dr. Liggett's office for quite a while now.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite segment, and there at River Valley Smiles, they've been the best of the best 9 years in a row.
Dr. Cole Johnson, Dr. Hannah Cabe, along with Dr. Charlie Liggett, comprehensive dental facility offering children's dentistry, braces, dentures, gum treatment, dental implants, oral surgery, orthodontics, root canal, and more. Basically, Dr. Liggett, you guys do just about everything you can do in the dental profession.
We really do. One thing I wanted to mention is that we do a lot of our implant-supported dentures, meaning basically a denture, you have all of your teeth out, a denture that's screwed into implants that you have in, so you never have to take them out, and they look just like normal teeth. Nobody would ever know, and it's people really, really like not having to take those dentures out. So that's one thing and you can do it all under sedation if you don't want to be awake for it. Just be asleep and wake up, and it's done.
479-646-0706 to contact River Valley Smiles or rivervalleysmiles.com. Doc, you can finish us off.
Well, come see us at River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family. Go Hogs.
All right, we'll get back with Dr. Liggett next week, and we'll come back with more halftime in just a moment.
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The best mornings start with Wrangler. Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
This is Halftime.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth?
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your #1 source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball to NHL and UFC, head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Fan. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
With the new Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, $7 goes a long way. A cheesy gordita crunch stacked with layers of luxury. A Doritos Locos Tacos, extravagantly crispy. A beefy 5-layer burrito overflowing with cheesy indulgence. It's all you want and more. For less. The new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell. It's Lux for less.
Thanks for watching.
Every day in my week, I'm feeling the city. And my affection's lost. Hold me down. We talk about it like a dog. Talk about the clothes I wear. But they don't realize it's the one who's with. Hey, that's why.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Was Dr. Ligon in the last segment, Matt, brought up the, boxing and he's bummed out that nobody really cares about it much anymore. And I mentioned the Tyson-Paul fight. So you remember the ring card girl from the Paul Tyson fight? I think she got more interest from people than the boxers did. Sydney Thomas got very popular from that fight. Was on a podcast recently named Like a Farmer. And they asked her about the craziest DMs that she's received in her social media since the Tyson-Paul fight. She claimed that a sitting coach for an SEC football team DM'd Roll Tide to her. Who could this be, and why is it Hugh Freeze?
That was the craziest thing, huh? I think she's lying to me. I think there's more. I think you got more.
Well, that's all I find here. That's all she said she did. She says it's not. She will not say who the coach is. She said it's not an Alabama coach. So if I'm thinking about this, it's got to be the other coach who's coaching in Alabama in the SEC, who's already got a reputation of being inside beautiful ladies' direct messages on various social media platforms. So that's got to be the answer as far as I know. Anybody else out there got any ideas? 877-377-6963. I will guarantee you that it is not Sam Pittman. That is a 100% guarantee that Sam Pittman did not slide into Sydney Thomas's DMs. Nathan thinks it's Joey Freshwater. As I understand, he's been tweeting about his ex-wife a lot, and it seems that they may be getting back together. So that wouldn't be the direction to go.
Is that the hot dog guy? Oh, that's Chestnuts.
Okay. That's Lane Kiffin. I like the name, though. He could be one or the other. He really could be one of them. I wonder how many hot dogs Lane Kiffin can eat with wet buns. Don't answer that question. 877-377-6963. Anyway, it was fun to hear that kind of. And maybe she's lying about it. I don't know. You ask a random question like, "What do you get for your silliest DMs?" and the answer is an SEC football coach. I'm not quite sure if I buy it either. Do you? I want to buy it, but the only answer here is Hugh Freeze. That's it. That is literally the only answer you can give, because I don't think it's Kiffin, because I think Kiffin is interested in maybe not sliding into other attractive ladies' DMs for the time being, but I can't get in his brain. Who knows? All right, we got one more segment here in our second hour. No more guests. We don't have Connor O'Gara today. He's got a sick child, so we'll get with him in a couple of weeks. It'll be after the college football playoff championship. Crabtree RV Center in Alma has been serving our listening audience for over 7 decades, making sure every family that swings by gets the best experience to choose the right RV for your adventures. Got the service and parts department on site, everything that you need at Crabtree RV. You can get a look at crabtreerv.com for more information. Back to wrap up the second hour of halftime right after this.
This is Halftime.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Dozy
Place has now been serving award-winning steaks. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Are you tired of the same old smelly gym? Then it's time to try something new. Let's hang out. The Hangout Fitness and Sports is the River Valley's only multi-sport family-friendly facility with a 24-hour gym and indoor courts for tennis and pickleball. With over 8,000 square feet for the gym.
Asco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry.
Favorite hog memory growing up, Cecil?
When we beat OU in the Orange Bowl in 1978, I was living in Allen Grove Projects, and it was a shutout at halftime, and I ran out of the house. I ran from one end of the projects to the other end screaming, "Go Hogs." I'll never forget that. Jasco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's all Jasco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Fan. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at
Get started just $5 at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Perry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your VA, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013
Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. 10. Ground control to Major Tom. 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
So Mike McCarthy is out as the Dallas Cowboys head coach. national championship college coach, or you've been a coordinator for Jerry's team. So I don't know. I mean, what Super Bowl winning coach is out there for him to potentially go get? A national championship winning coach. Freeman signed an extension, by the way, with Notre Dame before the playoff began, about a month ago. Doesn't necessarily mean that he won't, at least somebody won't try to talk to him or convince him otherwise. An NFL team, I think, will have the money to pay a buyout in that case. But he did sign an extension for an extra 4 years, so he's at least tied to Notre Dame for the next 6 years. But if you're dipping into college, would that be the guy you're looking at? National championship game in, his 4th year as the head coach? But it's just kind of interesting looking at his practices there, Matt. I wonder which direction the Cowboys end up going here.
Man, maybe they recycle through Jason Garrett. Isn't he doing a sports show right now? So, I mean, maybe they recycle. I'm telling you, I call Mike Tomlin. I call Pittsburgh and try to get Mike Tomlin. Maybe they go the Sanders route, Coach Sanders, and you're getting his boy. You could trade Dak you could get something nice. You can get a top 100 pick for Dak. I mean, somebody out there take Dak and you could get a second row. What I mean, yeah, you could maybe even get 2, a second, a third, or something. Dak's a good quarterback. Dak's just as good as Justin Herbert. I mean, if you saw what he did in the playoffs.
Do you contact Pete Carroll? Guy who's won a Super Bowl and a national championship. Then you get Arkansas both things ties. He's looked for.
Yeah.
It'd be an interesting marriage, but that'd be the two things that he's looked at. He's just never had a coordinator, and I mean, it'd be a real surprise if Jerry hires Brian Schottenheimer and Mike Zimmer as the head coach, right? I think so. Zimmer's had a chance before. But I mean, that's this coming out today, and this was the way it was all supposed to get done, right? If you have a coach going into his final year of a contract and you don't make the playoffs, if you're Mike McCarthy, I don't know how you would have expected you could have stayed around, kept the job. Otherwise, they'd have signed into an extension the year before, but didn't happen. So this did feel inevitable. I just guess, some folks were expecting to have the big firing, on Black Monday, but it's not. It's the week after Black Monday, and it's more about the inability to come to an agreement for a new contract. So it's not a firing. It's just letting a contract run out. Oh, all right. Hour number 3 of Halftime coming up in just a little bit. There'll be plenty of time for calls and texts at 877-377-6963, and there will be no guests, just you and us, since Connor O'Gara's got the sick kid.
You see Sean Payton with the fake punt. I don't know if you saw that, but I know they brought up the onside kick when the Saints played the Colts. And they ended up winning the Super Bowl that year. But they did a fake punt. It was pretty cool. It was about the only good play they had all game.
I was going to say that was one of those games that didn't really go very well.
All chalk. Team. Phil Elson, have you seen this? Is this not the craziest thing that, like, you talk about college and NFL playoffs? Has one dog won a game yet?
Not in college, I know that. We've just had the one round of NFL playoffs, and we'll see what happens tonight with Minnesota and the Rams. Give a quick check in to see.
We have free shipping for all U.S. orders over $35, so be sure to treat your favorite fishing buddy or yourself to some new Tackle Box treasures. Check out learnit.com today.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.assessor.com. www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. Whether you're buying a car, selling a car, or taking care of a car, we've got you. Be sure to follow us on Facebook to see how you can take advantage of $1,000 your way on select road-ready certified used cars with warranty, as well as buy 3, get 1 free on all tires in our Meineke Car Care Center. Start your new year right. Call, click, or come by today and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
It's Todd Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. What all y'all service here at Jazzco?
Logos, we do food trucks, cars, we do custom banners, signs for big and small businesses. We do logos, stickers, you name it, we just about do it all right here at Jazzco. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny and cooler, or highs this afternoon in the mid to upper 30s. Clear and cold tonight, overnight low in the lower 20s. On Tuesday, we're right back to sunshine. Our high on Tuesday, right around the mid to upper 40s. And Wednesday, sunny skies, a high in the middle 40s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Good pick.
KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
The drinking all day.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that can respect it. Ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
But they were one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
1, 2, 3. Turn it.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back. Halftime, hour number 3. Take you up till 2 o'clock. Ruskin and Zach can have you there. Calls and texts coming in at 877-377-6963. I'm Phil Elson. Matt Jones, my partner. Christian Johnston producing. And you're listening to ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com and the Hit That Line Now app. Did have a favorite yesterday that lost. Bucks were a 3-point favorite. I think that's the only one. I'm pretty sure. That's
the Bucks are 10-7. The Redskins are 12-5. Are they really a favorite? If we were sitting here talking football, I mean, are you really going to take the worst division? I don't know. I get it though. I get it.
But that's the one.
That's the one. And the Commanders had 26 more offensive plays. The Redskins had 78 plays on offense. The Buccaneers only had 52. Like, you start looking at how, and it only scored 3 more points. I think your boy Baker Mayfield was 15-18. I mean, they just didn't have enough plays. 15-18 is pretty good.
And then in the fumble on an end around attempt. back deep in your own territory at the absolute most inopportune time. There's a couple of turnovers in the in plus territory for Washington that made
Who would you exact science evaluating these quarterbacks, but I didn't see him having this much success this early. But the dude, man, he can make plays when he has to.
Speaking about Lamar, I think he and Henry and that offensive line for the Ravens, nearly 300 yards rushing yesterday. They made Pittsburgh quit in the first half. That was the thing I was getting at in our 3 up, 3 down last segment. Is it just I saw a team that I follow closely give up. It's that they looked like they did not believe that they could win that game, and they were shown very good reasons why by a much better team.
Baltimore at Buffalo, right? Is that how we're doing this? And then the winner gets to go to Kansas City. I mean, if you're going to make it through the AFC, those are 3 teams right there that I think could be favored over any team in the NFC.
Just looking at the quarterbacks in the AFC now, Mahomes and Stroud, and then on the other side you got the Allen-Jackson matchup, which is so much fun to watch. Jaden Daniels, Jared Goff, Lions, Commanders.
And Lions, that'll be tough for the Redskins. That'll be tough for them.
I think it'll be really tough for them. Although they'll be able to score. I can't wait to watch that game because they're both going to be in the 30s, just like about almost every Lions game except the last one, which didn't make much sense against Minnesota. 8. Me like Jerry Jones is giving any of that up. So, but I've wondered about Saban in certain situations because I still don't think he's done coaching. Belichick's got a job. Carroll's going after another one. It's been a little more than a year since that historic day where all 3 of them, quote unquote, retired. And I still don't think Saban's done. I don't think the Cowboys are the place, though, because I don't think he'd get the decision-making that he would need to get, Matt.
Man, that would be something. Another challenge. These coaches, they like a challenge, man. Saban, I think he'll win wherever he goes. I don't know. If you're Dallas, though, who do you want? Do you want like Cliff Kingsbury? Do you want somebody off the Shanahan tree? You know who are you kind of going after if you're thinking if you're the Dallas Cowboys? Who do you want?
Well, I think the hottest guy right now would be the Lions offensive coordinator, right? Ben Johnson. He's being talked about just about every job that's wide open. Maybe you look at him. I mean, that wouldn't necessarily be the track record Jerry's had, but I don't think he's going to be hiring one of the coordinators. There's no way he's hiring one of the coordinators. You're going to look into the college ranks. I'm not, we kick the tires on Dion, on Freeman, on Saban. I don't know if that'll actually. I think he'll hire from the ranks of current NFL coaches. But I mean, the trend now, Matt, is to go younger. is to go younger and go offensive. So maybe Ben Johnson's the guy, but I think he'll have to fight out a few other NFL teams too. The thing is while you're constrained with how you spend your money on free agents because of the salary pool, because of the salary cap, you're not constrained on how you spend on a head coach. So Jerry can outspend the other, who he zeroes in on who he wants. He could spend whatever he wants on it. Seems to be the way that you
yeah,
can go
I mean,
at it.
you think too who's the OC for the Minnesota Vikings? Sam Darnold. What are they going to do there? Could that be a package deal? Because you're thinking is Dak the right quarterback? If you're Saban, would you want to go to Dallas knowing that Dak's your quarterback?
I don't think you'd go to Dallas unless there's the conversation and the understanding and it's written into the contract that while Jerry Jones is still the general manager, maybe he's not the player personnel guy any longer. Nick Saban's not going to the NFL without serious decision-making capabilities on who is going to be playing for him. And there's the current NFL coaches, the current coordinators, they're not looking at it like that. But you also wonder, is this where you're going to hitch your star? Are you going to hitch your star to that wagon, knowing full well that the roster making hasn't necessarily been, outstanding. And then, just like you're talking about it too, Matt, you kind of know who your quarterback's going to be. It's not like you have a decision on that. So that's also got to be part of the shopping yourself around. That's why I thought Harbaugh took the Chargers job, because that was the best available quarterback of the jobs that were open.
I think they peaked too. I think they did as good as they could. I think the same thing with the Broncos. If you're the Broncos and you're the Chargers right now, man, you got to be feeling pretty good. I think the Commanders too. That's what the Patriots are trying to get. You got one of those quarterbacks and getting a Patriot guy the Patriot way. Maybe you're able to magic genie in a bottle type thing there.
877-377-6963 for any thoughts on this. Did you see A.J. Brown reading? He took out a book on the sideline on the bench and started reading it. And some folks, I guess it was Greg Jennings, thought that Brown is just trying to get some attention because he didn't have the ball thrown his way. And it turns out he brings this book called Inner Excellence with him to every single game. Jim Murphy is the author. I guess you would call it a self-help book. But it seems he reads this at times where he needs to not calm down, but just refocus on worrying about the things that he can control. And I can understand the idea of that. I haven't done this for years, but I remember, when I used to get really nervous before going on the air, when I did theater in high school, I would recite baseball statistics to myself just because it was something I could memorize, and it calmed me down a little bit, just put me in a good place. That's what Brown's doing. It's just a little bit odd to see somebody pull out a paperback book on a sideline in the NFL where you can, if you're looking in on anything and the cameras are there, they can see everything that's happening. We read lips on sidelines now and everything. They couldn't quite zoom in and see what it was he was reading. But he's reading self-help at a moment where he needs it, and he brings this book with him for every game.
Those receivers, they want the ball, and when you're not feeling like you're involved, it's tough.
across from Harps and joesfortsmith.com. We'll break, come back, more halftime right after this.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. This is halftime. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Carl Ravitch is our guest.
I would like to see some type of change where you don't have to get off to a slow start. The idea that Cal's teams have historically started slow, I'd have to go back and look at some of the national championship teams that he had at Kentucky. Did they start slow, or is that just a thing when you don't have 4 or 5 stars all playing together?
Weekdays from 9 to 11 only on ESPN 95.3.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got coffee.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball to NHL and UFC, head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
With the new Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, $7 goes a long way. A cheesy gordita crunch stacked with layers of luxury. A Doritos Locos Tacos, extravagantly crispy. A beefy 5-layer burrito overflowing with cheesy indulgence. It's all you want and more. For less. The new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell. It's Lux for less.
Thanks for watching us here on
Let's hang out.
What's better than getting something for free? Winning. And with the $5 bundle from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, you get the chance to do both. For $5, you get 3 tickets, a Powerball ticket with Power Play, a Mega Millions ticket, and a free Natural State Jackpot ticket. That's 3 ways to win. So ask for the $5 bundle today. Bundle is eligible with Quick Picks only. Offer ends February 28th. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Everywhere, in the air. Everywhere, she comes in color.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call.
Eight to Vanderbilt, lost to Mizzou by 16, and Ole Miss beat them by 12. And then you get Mizzou on Saturday, and the Tigers playing well. They lost at Auburn, but have wins over LSU and Vandy. Line while being out-rebounded by an average of 9 rebounds per game and outscored by an average of 13. And I'll dig into some of those, shooting numbers in the paint and layups and everything, because it's not just on the outside, it's on the inside too. Rob has given us a phone call. Good afternoon, Rob. How's it going today?
Oh, pretty good. Just driving up towards Mountain Home.
All right.
Hey, you guys remember the other weekend when Kansas City was playing the Denver Broncos? I missed that game because of all the driving that I do. But why was Patrick Mahomes pulled off the roster? Because they were going into that game with a 15-1 series, and they could have dominated the franchise by winning a game with Patrick Mahomes. And I'm kind of curious. Did he take a vacation? What did he do? I'm gonna go ahead and hang up and listen. You guys have a good day.
Okay, thanks, Rob. I doubt he took a vacation. And when you wrap up the number one seed in your conference, that's really what the regular season is about. So I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd have taken 2 weeks off. If they'd have wrapped the conference up before the second to last week, makes all the sense in the world to me. I would think the only way that you continue to play is if you're going for an undefeated season. If you're trying to do, the perfect season like the Dolphins, and I know Brady played in the last game of the regular season, and they'd already cinched up the number one seed. What was that, 2006, 2007? Can't remember the exact year. But that's the kind of history I think that would matter more, not necessarily the most wins you've ever had in your franchise's history, because we play 17 games now, and that's one more than they used to. But if you have a shot to go for an undefeated season, I could see playing and risking injury, because that's only happened once.
Man, you get the number one seed. You think of their path to the Super Bowl. So you get home field, you get the Texans. Then you just got to win one more game. You got to beat either the Ravens. But that getting that number one seed. I think you're exactly right, Phil. That means something, man. They had it. They clinched what they had to do with the game in hand. And if you don't have Patrick Mahomes, you know what you're not going to do. You're not going to win. So you better. So I'd keep Patrick Mahomes as healthy as I could.
877-377-6963. Maybe he was upset because he's a Bengals fan. And
if you're the Chiefs,
we'd like you to give a little better effort than throwing Carson Wentz out there. And others. It wasn't just him.
If you're the Chiefs, do you think you try to get that Tyler Warren kid from Penn State to come in and be the next Travis Kelce? Now, I know that's big shoes, and Travis Kelce's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But you're looking around at who you're losing and what you need. I like that kid from Penn State.
Well, how many draft choices do you have to give up to move up and get it?
You would have to move up to about 12. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere. Depends on the quarterback game. I think the quarterback class might be a little light. Tight ends, where you go. Yeah, he might be a top 10er, but he probably 12, 14. Where'd Brock Bowers go? 16? That's about where 10. That's about where he'll go.
Just looking at the layup numbers from the previous two games for the Hogs against Tennessee and Ole Miss, and they made their layups in those games. They went 16 for 25 in layups. One of the games was 8 for 15, and I just what should your percentage be on layups? But I also know that not every layup is equal. Some of them are breakaways and nobody's there. Some of them are highly contested layups that aren't the easiest to score. It just looked like there were a lot of missed, I can't say bunnies, but just opportunities to score off the window or right at the rim. And they had done that for the most part in the previous two games, and then you have a 2 for 16 against Tennessee. Or against Florida, pardon me.
Man, is
it a matter of like trying to finish? It's not finished through contact, because that's not what it was. That's the and one. It's actually just finishing and getting the ball to drop. Is it luck sometimes? Mike Irwin put a little bit of it on luck. I can appreciate the idea that at least some portion of shooting in basketball can
Text area to 4.
For half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mex. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Looking for a healthcare provider that truly listens to you? At Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, their team of nurse practitioners offer personalized healthcare with their in-house labs. Get fast results. Elite Wellness goes beyond just treating symptoms. Their holistic approach addresses the root causes of your well-being. Whether it's preventative care, illness, or exploring natural treatments, your health journey begins with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. Call 479-242-9355 for your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal. You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
This book that A.J. Brown's been reading on the sideline, Inner Excellence, is now #1 on Amazon overnight. It literally went from being an obscure book that not so many people had heard of and is now #1 on the Amazon booksellers list. Jim Murphy said maybe you've never been higher than probably 8,000 or 9,000, and now it's #1. Way to go. It's just a matter of having the book in the right hands at the absolute right time, right? 877-377-6963 to get with us here on halftime. We got another preseason baseball poll that came out this morning, Matt, and this one is different than the perfect game rankings, which we discussed, I think, last week. Arkansas was picked 13th in the preseason poll by, I think it's the two writers for perfect game. D1 Baseball's got about a handful, a little more than a handful or so of guys who do their polls, and they've got Arkansas at #5, which I think fits a little bit better than #13. But there's going to be these wild fluctuations in these two polls. And just for example, Texas was 7th in perfect game. They're 19th in D1. Clemson was 8th in perfect game. They're 15th in D1. North Carolina was 19th in perfect game. D1's got them 6th. So Arkansas being 5th in the D1 poll and 13th in the perfect game poll is really not all that big of a deal. But the consensus top 10 teams between these two polls are A&M at #1, Tennessee, Virginia, LSU, Georgia, Oregon State, and Florida State, pretty much making up the consensus. Those are the schools that are in both polls in the top 10. I think Arkansas will get there too. It's just I also know how this goes. Nobody will believe the rankings until the end of the season. And I truly got it emailed. I think they're supposed to be scheduling a Dave Van Horn preseason presser sometime in the next few days because spring semester starts today. So you get about 3 weeks to scrimmage before the start of the season. So they should start scrimmaging next week, which feels early, doesn't it? Because there's snow on the ground outside.
It is a little cold. I mean, swinging a bat when it's cold outside, that's kind of tough. Did I see something about the football team picked up an All-American tight end, or is that
He's an FCS All-American.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was Rohan. I've got to open up my my little Google note here. He's a tight end from Montana State, Rohan Jones. He is from Montreal, Quebec. 6'3", 235, 30 catches, 470 yards, and 9 touchdowns at FCS Montana State.
Yeah, they don't lose a lot at Montana State, so I like it.
Well, and someone who comes in as a pass catcher first and foremost. You know, my understanding of the guy that they've brought in from A&M, Jaden Platt, is more of a blocking tight end, kind of like Andreas Pashka. So Jones, at least for now, I guess, would be the guy that you think would be your #1 pass catcher for tight ends, at least for the time being. So that's 6 pass catchers you brought in for Talon. And I think Jones made his decision really quickly because he got in the portal kind of late, like early January. He got in and had visits to a number of other schools, which also included visiting your boy at North Carolina, but he chose Arkansas.
I saw they got a 4-star quarterback. Looks like Johnny Utah on the next Point Break, so we'll see if he can play.
Do they all look like that now? They must all have something that looks like that. Hogwild wonders if a 235-pound tight end in the SEC is going to work very well for you. What was Haz's playing weight at Arkansas? Because I don't feel it was all that much different from that. but I'd have to double check on it. Does 235 feel light?
In the SEC, you want your tight end to be 240 plus. Is it a real 235? It's we'll see. Yeah, two. I don't remember. I mean, we had Jason Peters. Poydras.
Haz was at 242.
Nathan
Ty
Ball.
Washington was 247.
Yeah, all our tight ends were 265 plus. It seems like. So,
if you're 235, I would think maybe you'd have. I don't know what it exactly looks like, but if you're 235, I'd think you got the frame. You could put on another few pounds of muscle and be pretty close to what Haz was. But I mean, that's legitimate too. It's the idea of 235 would be the right kind of weight for a tight end in the FCS. Maybe not so much in the SEC, but he's coming in here in January, and I don't know. There's something about the meal plans for athletes at Arkansas that I think might be a little different in terms of the pounds you're packing on than you might have at Montana State. Although I don't think, because Montana's the place where I would eat every once in a while when I worked up there. Rocky Mountain oysters, that's got a lot of protein.
Bison burgers.
Don't really think it's on the menu at the Jones Center, if ever. But yeah, do have that tight end coming in, and I guess that means, what does that mean now? It means 2 tight ends, 5 receivers, 6 offensive linemen, and the 1 running back. So you think you need another tight end maybe? Another receiver you might be looking at here, more linemen than the 6 that are already committed to come in. Just completely making things, remaking the team from the jump.
It's going to be spring ball will be fun, man. There's going to be a lot of jobs out there, a lot of openings, and a lot of competition. That's what you want. You don't want. I mean, you hope that you're hitting on these guys when they come in, they compete, and somebody actually beats out the other person instead of, well, you're the best we got, so we're going to have to play you.
I don't know. Did it feel like that last year? Did it feel like that at all last year? Did it feel like there was competition? Like, I think Haz would beat out a lot of people at tight end for pass catching. On the offensive line, it felt like you had guys come in out of the portal, and they would have been anointed as starters just for coming here to Arkansas. Nichols, I think, was that. I think Carmona was that. And it did feel the same with Blackstock up until the start of the season, when it ended up that he was playing because of Kudus' injury. I don't necessarily feel like that about the transfers that they brought in now. For one thing, you brought in 6 offensive linemen with 3 open spots, and I do think that both tackle spots will be open as well. Because, I mean, even the returners, when you struggled in pass protection as badly as they did, I would think there aren't any positions that are completely nailed down. Not one. Maybe the center. Maybe you look at the center coming in from UCF because you've lost your other 2 centers other than, who was playing in the bowl game. Maybe that's the one guy that you'd say, well, he's coming in and he will start. Corey Robinson, though, a starter at Georgia Tech, as good as they ran the ball, Matt, he comes in and feel like, well, you're not bringing him in here to sit the bench, but maybe it's a matter of, you still have to win this position, so go do it in spring and watch him do it in spring.
Yeah, I think I forget who he had on last week, but talking about how well that it seemed like they hit on their portal gets last year. So hopefully you can continue, and even not if you can't do a little better, because we have a quarterback coming back that I think can be a top 4 quarterback in the SEC. We got a running back that has all the potential and talent in the world. That I think if he continues on this trajectory, he will be playing on Sundays. I like C.J. Brown. I like Crutchfield coming back in. You like Sorey on the other side. Sorey's definitely a dude that's going to play on Sundays. And hopefully you get it right in the secondary.
Awesome. Just hoping that whatever happens in spring ball, that Talon develops chemistry, on-field relationship with more than one guy, because that's how it felt this last season. It just would zero in on Armstrong, and I know there's issues reading the field sometimes and finding who's open, but I also wonder how much of that had to do with just kind of trusting specifically Armstrong and maybe not some of the other guys who were running their routes and might have been open. But you're starting with a completely new group. Last year you had some guys that had been there for 2-3 years, like Tesla, like Broden, like Armstrong. This is a completely different set of wide receivers, and the first thing that has to happen is get some chemistry with Talon. Hopefully he develops that with 2 or 3 of them, because it was just one player last year.
Yeah, expecting big things. You think year 2 in the offense. Every time, learning a new offense is like learning a foreign language. You're translating and you're going back to what you know and you're figuring it out. And so he should be a lot more comfortable kind of being that leader, getting everybody on the right page. And a lot of times these routes, Phil, they're two-way option routes. Whatever the defense does is wrong, but you got to read the defense to see if you curl it up, if you break in, you break out, if you continue over the top, and so it takes a while to kind of get used to that.
Just one note, I was looking at some of the stats on SEC conference games only for the basketball teams, and Arkansas has the lowest shooting percentage in the 3 SEC games of any team, 349 from the field. The crazy thing is that Tennessee, and I think more than anything is because of their game against Florida, the Tennessee Volunteers, no longer number 1. Auburn's number 1 in the country in the AP. Tennessee has the second lowest shooting percentage in these 3 games amongst the 16 SEC teams. Arkansas ranks 14th in three-point percentage at 20.6%. Georgia and South Carolina shooting a little bit worse than that. Have you downloaded the brand new Hit That Line Now app? If you haven't, do it now. It's fueled by Taco Bell, the $7 Lux Cravings box with 3 full-size classics, chips, nacho cheese sauce, and a drink. Lux for less, and the Taco Bell Hit That Line Now app. Every bite is a win. Back to wrap up the show in just a moment.
You ain't heard nothing yet. Wait a minute, I tell you. You ain't heard nothing.
This is halftime.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Gym Pond, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
Old Man Winter is here, bringing cold, nasty weather. And Jelco Outdoors has all the gear to keep you warm and dry. Insulated coats, jackets, overalls, coveralls, thermal socks, and gloves for kids up to men's 4X. Jelco Outdoors has the largest selection of winter boots in the River Valley to keep your feet warm and dry. Need a portable heater? Jelco has plenty of Mr. Heater portable propane heaters and accessories. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors. Stay safe and stay warm this winter. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, your cold weather store.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Sugar, oh honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Honey, oh sugar, sugar, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Wrapping it up here on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Tomorrow's show including Tuesday guests. That'll be Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, Alyssa Orange, Pig Trail Nation, and Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast coming out shortly. We'll have our talk with Sunshine Mike Irwin and our 3 Up, 3 Down with Dr. Charlie Liggett. Anything else that C-Unit thinks was interesting today?
Pretty general consensus, Phil, that I haven't heard one Dallas Cowboy fan say, "Oh man, I wish we would have kept Coach McCarthy."
You're about right about that.
Man, it's just I'm not going to pretend like he didn't have some good teams, good seasons, but ultimately it's been the same thing, song and dance. Cowboys have had good teams. He's just continued the trend. I mean. And I'm not saying they're going to immediately, win a Super Bowl now, but you got to start somewhere. And I don't know that all they need to do is fire the head coach. It may be more to it than that. Dak, has been a part of a lot of these playoff losses. But, I mean, getting a new head coach in with maybe a different philosophy may not hurt,
Not stopping the run, not running the ball didn't have too much to do with Dak, that's for sure. But I think with McCarthy, I don't know if he'll be hired for this next season, but he'll be coaching again. There's no doubt. The guy's won nearly 60. He's won over 63% of his regular season games. Has a Super Bowl championship. So the idea that it didn't happen in Dallas, it didn't happen in Dallas for Parcells either, and Parcells is in the Hall of Fame. I just think maybe that could be a bit of a difficult place to coach.
Well, and if he's not a head ball coach, maybe he goes back and is a offensive coordinator for a year or two. That is kind of his thing. But if you're talking about Minnesota's OC or Detroit's OC, those guys getting head coaching jobs, maybe he slides into that for a year or two.
But that'd be interesting just to see, a sitting head coach who has a Super Bowl championship taking a job as a coordinator. But that's what got him the head coaching job to begin with in Green Bay. And then you wonder about what Pittsburgh will do as far as Tomlin's concerned. I don't think that they'll get rid of him, but if there are teams that are interested in talking to them about a potential trade, depending on what the draft choices are. Well, then at that point, if you get rid of the coach, then you're talking about a complete rebuild on the roster, I think, because they're in that situation where they haven't been bad enough to pick high enough in the draft where you're going to potentially find somebody that makes an immediate impact, and they haven't been good enough to win a playoff game for 8 years. So that's kind of a tough place for a franchise to be. I just know that if it were the Jets, they'd be pretty happy with at least making the playoffs. I have friends who are Broncos fans. They got their heads handed to them by Kansas City. Didn't seem like they were all too worried about it. Kind of expected it. First time they were in the playoffs in 8 years. Then the expectations kind of come after that. So you go with next year. But next year it'll be a different Dallas coach.
One of the stats I heard was Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game since 2016.
That's right. And in the game since then, they have been down 28-0, 35-7, 21-0, and 21-0. It's not even just the losses, it's that they haven't even showed up. We showed up today. It was good stuff. Hope you enjoyed halftime. Ruskin and Zach coming up in a moment. Matt Jones, Kirsten Johnston, have a great rest of your day, and we'll do all this over again tomorrow. So for Matt and the unit, I'm Phil. Stay tuned for Ruskin and Zach in just a few minutes. And get up, get out, and get better.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some